How to start a business from zero. I'm going to teach you how to start a business from zero while taking on as little risk as possible. And listen, I personally have bootstrapped all of my businesses, so I know the process very well. And even if you don't have a lot of time or even a lot of money, I'm going to share how to get your business off the ground and start making you cash right away. I want you to start making money right away with as little upfront investment as possible. So that's largely what I'll be discussing. But to make that happen, you'll really need to listen to the whole video, so watch till the end. I'm going to be dropping a ton of tricks for you today. Welcome to the Income Series, where we discuss business, finance, and investing. I'm Brian Clark. I used to be a nurse anesthetist, a career I left after starting several businesses, some of which have been successful and others not so much. But all of them have provided me with experience and knowledge that I can share with you. If you're not against hitting that like button, go ahead and give it a tap. Also, if you are working on starting a business, click subscribe. I have a lot of valuable videos for you. Okay, let's jump into it. I want to start by talking about one of the biggest mistakes I see people make before they even start building their business. And that mistake is people will often think that they need to quit their job and transition into working on their new business full-time right from the start. I'm telling you, this is not how most new businesses are created, and it usually is not required for success. I don't know of hardly any entrepreneurs that start their business this way. Most businesses are small businesses, and they started by people just like you. These are people working a 9-to-5 job and have bills that need to get paid every month. You think they can afford risking their paycheck before they have another form of revenue coming in? No, they can't. So what do? Well, let's talk about that, because that's the key to starting a business from zero. At the start of building any new business, there's a lot of learning and a building process that needs to take place. Most of this takes time and planning. I will tell you, a lot of being an entrepreneur is simply trying new things to see what works and what doesn't. So while you're in this initial stage, you'll want to maintain your current livelihood. If that means you need to work a job while you're building your business, then do just that. I do not recommend throwing yourself into a sink or swim scenario. You will be in a difficult position that won't allow you to explore different ideas, different marketing strategies, or different products. So at that beginning stage, make sure you have some type of revenue coming in to cover your needs. As you start making money from your business, then consider cutting back from your job to part-time. And only when your business has proven that it reliably covers your minimum expenses should you consider leaving work. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means starting a business can be a bit of work. If you're balancing a full-time job and trying to launch a business, it requires a lot of dedication and discipline. The beautiful thing about this trick, though, is it allows you to grow and learn as an entrepreneur until you have the tools to go out and be successful on your own. Now, to make this happen, you need to have the mindset of an entrepreneur. There's definitely a stark contrast between the mindset of an entrepreneur and that of an employee. Employees are often motivated by the financial stability of a consistent paycheck and the comfort of only needing a singular expertise. And I get why that is. It can be comfortable being an employee. I imagine even most entrepreneurs envy that consistent paycheck every now and again. You can think of Elon Musk, how he had previously made hundreds of millions with PayPal, but almost went bankrupt with Tesla. So there's definitely some ease of mind when it comes to working a full-time job. Now, as an entrepreneur, you'll need to be okay with not necessarily having consistent revenue, but the benefit is there's no ceiling to how much you can potentially earn. Also, as a business owner, you will need to understand and organize all the moving parts of your business. Elon Musk is now the wealthiest man in the world. Even when he had millions, he didn't just sit on it. He reinvested it back into new ideas and innovation. Now, when building a business from zero, it is important to get it structured right from the start. That means that you register your company within your state, and you can usually get this done on your state's website in about 15 minutes. I usually recommend registering as a limited liability company, also known as an LLC, unless you plan on taking on investors or later taking the company public. But most small businesses will often benefit from the LLC type of structure. After this, you'll want to get an employer identification number. also known as an EIN from the IRS. I say to get your business registered right away because there are a lot of benefits that come from it. You're more than likely going to be using your own money to initially get the company started. With your company registered, you should be able to deduct your business expenses from your taxes. It will also help protect your personal assets and also help make your accounting easier once you start making money from your business. Now, I'm not a lawyer or an accountant, so don't take any of this as advice. I'm just sharing my opinion. I'll also say, once you have a registered business, you can test new ideas under the umbrella of that business as long as the new venture isn't super risky. All you'll need to do is register a new DBA and work on building that new business or brand. I actually do this all the time. I'll have several ventures working under a single business using different DBAs. The next thing you'll need is a bank account for your business. Whatever you plan to invest in your business should flow through this bank account before purchasing business supplies or products. And you need somewhere that your business can get paid separate from your personal assets. I promise you'll thank me for recommending this to you. Trying to figure out your business expenses and tax deductions if you don't keep your personal assets separated from your business will be a nightmare. This is a mistake almost all new business owners make because it does take a little advanced planning. The next thing I would recommend is getting a business account with a payment processor like PayPal, Stripe, or Square. You want to make it as easy as possible for your customers to pay you. It is also important that you provide a professional payment system because it really does add a layer of trust to the brand of your business. People can have a hard time viewing companies that only accept cash or checks as trustworthy. Plus, all these things will even help you build business credit without even trying. Okay, let's say you have all this done. Now I'm going to talk about the thing that matters most to starting any new business from zero, and that's sales. And let me break this down a bit. Another one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they obsess over building the perfect product, often to the point that the product or service never gets released. Now imprint this into your mind because it will make or break many of you watching this video. Sales need to be as much of a focus or more than the actual product. No company can survive without sales, but a company can survive with a mediocre product. Don't believe me? Look at how many stores sell a generic cola brand. And consider some people even try to sell a product before it's even been created. So keep this in mind. You can sell product or service at any stage in its development. Look at all the people that put a down payment on a Tesla truck years ago, or all the people that will buy a course before it's even finished. Products don't make you rich, sales make you rich. And I have to say, I make this mistake pretty often myself. It's one of the reasons I'm stressing this point so heavily in this video. Instead of focusing on sales and how to get more sales, I'll often focus on enhancing my existing products, even when I know they already satisfy the needs of my customers. Now, this doesn't mean that you should be throwing out junk or pre-selling products that you never deliver. It just means that you can improve on your product or service over time. If you want to sell a course, offer a discount for anyone that signs up before it's finished, and post the course chapter by chapter over several months. I'll say this too, if you have sales, then you have a business. That's money you can reinvest back into growing, and it's money you can use to eventually quit your job and work on your business full time. The next point is you need to be reinvesting all the excess money you're making back into your business. Do not increase your spending and lifestyle after you've had some basic success in your business. You need to put that money right back into growing. If you are already seeing your business take off, then sometimes it's even a good idea to cut back on your personal expenses and put even more money or time into your company. And I'll share a personal experience. When I was first having success with my medical education business, not only did I cut my spending to reinvest back into the company, I quit my job so I could focus on the business full time. The business wasn't making as much as I was making doing anesthesia at first, but it was making me enough to live off of and still have enough to reinvest and keep it growing while I was working on it full time. I'll also say, starting a successful business is generally not a fast process. It took me 2.5 years of building my first business before it was finally making me decent money. I had a huge learning curve to get through. And I'm not saying it needs to take you that long to get your business up and going. You might have a car detailing company where you can start getting sales next week. The idea is this: you need to have patience in business, especially if you're starting a business from zero. Now, we talked a bit about registering your business, getting your business checking account, and also getting a merchant account to process payments. Let's talk a bit about marketing, because that's a big part of starting any business and getting sales. Marketing strategies really differ depending on the industry and if you're trying to get local customers or you're trying to sell more on a national or international level. I'm going to cover both so you can learn a bit about each, but also have an idea of differences. So let's start with certain marketing efforts that need to be done regardless of your type of business. The biggest of these is you really need to have a professional website for your business. Regardless if you sell product online or if you provide in-person services, every business really needs to have a website. I've personally built hundreds of websites for different businesses that I've run over the years. I view a website as an essential part of any business, and I have run both businesses that try to appeal to both local clients and international customers. A website really is a piece of digital real estate that allows you to showcase what it is you're selling. This is your chance to showcase your work. But besides this, a website allows customers to feel as though your company is always available, can be contacted, and builds a level of trust. Now, if you're not really tech savvy, you might be intimidated by the idea of building out a website for your business. Don't let this really be an obstacle though, because there are good developers out there and you really generally can get a good deal if you just want a simple 5-page website. Something I would recommend though is registering your business domain yourself at a domain registrar, and then you can even buy the hosting yourself as well. I'll try and have recommendations for you down in the description for domain registration and hosting. And the reason I recommend you register your own domain and buy your own hosting is because you always want to be in control of your website, regardless of what web designer you hired to build the site. Now, there are drag and drop builders currently as well, so you don't even need to know how to code to build a website yourself. But it's often a good idea to get a web designer that can edit photos and has a good aesthetic eye to create your site if you've never built one before, or if you don't want to delay your progress with other parts of your business. Now let's talk about using social media for marketing. Certain types of businesses can profit heavily off of having a prominent social media presence, and it's not always the type of businesses you may first think of. If you have a local business that provides a service within a smaller geographical area, then a well-developed Instagram account can be a huge help in attracting new business. An example of this would be a person who installs tile flooring, or someone who does fingernails. This is another place where you can showcase a large portfolio of your work and build relationships with both clients and other local businesses. Another great place to start building contacts is in local Facebook groups. You can find local Facebook groups for small business owners, or even better, for hobbyists that are interested in the services you offer. I need to warn you though, don't be too pushy with sales in these Facebook groups. It's better to spend the time to be part of the conversation, contribute, and slowly build a reputation for being a professional. Along with this, you can post pictures of your work into the group from time to time, and then maybe marketing images on occasion. But be careful not to overdo it. Now let's talk about other types of businesses that sell more on a national and international scale. While social media traffic can provide some sales, most people find that search engine traffic tends to be a better source of sales. If you run a niche website that talks all about fish tanks and you rely on affiliate commissions, you're generally going to have better success by writing articles that focus on attracting search engine traffic related to common search terms. An example search term would be cheap fish tanks for goldfish. You'll see that people that sell or are affiliates for products that ship nationally and internationally will often try and appear on the first page in Google for as many related search terms as possible. Now, creating online content with the intent to have it rank well in search engines, and then performing tasks to try and get other websites to promote or link back to your article so it performs better in search engines, is what's called search engine optimization, or SEO. Search engines work off an algorithm, and these algorithms change on a regular basis. So being an expert in SEO requires a lot of time. It can pay off big though. Once you've helped your website build authority in the eyes of Google and other search engines, you'll often be rewarded with web traffic that can make you large sums of money for a long period of time. I have done my own SEO on many of my websites, and I've also hired out a lot of SEO work as well. It can be very time consuming, so it can be a good idea to find help with it once you're bringing in money for your business. If you're smart about which search terms you target, and if you're not in a competitive niche, then you can build a good income with just writing and posting search engine friendly articles and doing a bit of other SEO work on your own. In fact, building an affiliate website business is one of the best options for someone who doesn't have a ton of money to start a company. There's a low cost of entry for registering a domain and getting hosting, and then you can become an affiliate for a specific product category that interests you, and then write your own articles to help get people to buy those products. Now, I do some affiliate marketing, although in the past I've put more of my own effort into building and ranking websites to sell my own products and to sell leads to local businesses. I know I'm giving you a lot of meat here. Hopefully I'm making these online marketing concepts easy enough to understand. The point of them is to help you get an idea of where there are free and cheap places to find a large number of customers, right? It's as much about finding customers as it is about providing a quality product. I see a lot of really talented people who start a business providing a service, but they struggle finding customers. I don't want this to be you, so I'm going to do my best to help you figure out ways to overcome that obstacle. You know, one of the best places to get customers is on YouTube. You've probably noticed that real estate agents have really taken to YouTube to build content around the cities they serve. From that, people looking to move to these areas will often contact these agents because they already feel familiar with them. This doesn't work with every industry, but it is really helpful in getting customers for some. So just as a quick recap, consider initially building out your business part-time so you don't have to give up your main source of income. This will also provide you some extra capital from your job that you can use to fund certain aspects of your business. Get your business registered with the state and get your EIN number from the IRS. Open a business checking account and open a business account with a merchant processor. Build out a website for your business. Look to find free traffic through social media sites and online search traffic, and continue to build business relationships, customer relationships, and establish a portfolio of your work and products. Once you're making sufficient money to both cover your business expenses and your personal expenses, consider leaving your employer and start working on your business full-time. Millions of people have done this. I am certain you can too. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments section. Also, if you forgot to hit that like button, go ahead and do that now. And subscribe to my channel. I have lots more videos about starting businesses, getting funding for businesses, and more. And as always, you guys have a great day.